Hello everybody and welcome back to Screen Stars and welcome to another classic film review. Today's classic film review is for the 1989 action film Tango and Cash, and this is a film that was directed by Andrei Konchalovsky and Albert Magnoli, and it stars Sylvester Stallone as Ray Tango, Kurt Russell as Gabriel Cash, as well as Terry Hatcher, Jack Palance, Brian James and James Hong. Now this is, it's an 80s action film. There's no other way to put it really. It's of its time. I've just rewatched this recently with my wife, who, believe it or not, has never actually seen Tango and Cash. And we watched it and we enjoyed it, and it was lots of fun. But it is certainly a film of its time. It's not a film that would likely to get made today for a lot of different reasons. But it was certainly a fun film. And for those who don't know what Tango and Cash is about, well, it's about these two rival police officers, Ray Tango and Gabriel Cash, played by Sylvester Stallone and Kurt Russell. They're doing a lot of good. They're bringing down all these doing all these drug busts, all this kind of stuff, and Jack Palance, the mastermind behind it all, wants them taken out of the picture, so he frames them for a crime they didn't commit. They get sent to jail, and in order to make sure they stay alive, they have to break out of jail and try and clear their names and work together to do so. Right, so that's the basic plot and outline of Tango and Cash. What are my thoughts on a film like this? Well, like I say, it's a fun film. I think this film has so many things going for it. The primary thing that's got going for it here is Stallone and Kurt Russell. They're actually really good on screen together, and it's actually, I remember commenting when I watched this with my wife, sort of saying it's quite surprising that they've never really done another film together, because they had great chemistry here in this film. I mean, absolutely crammed full of one-liners, jokes, gags, you name it, and they both share the limelight here. They both work really, really well together on screen, Stallone and Kurt Russell. And there are many, many scenes that stand out. I saw an interview recently with Stallone, and he was answering questions on Facebook or something like that, and one of the questions was, what was the most fun scene to do in Tango and Cash? And he actually answered the shower scene with him and Kurt Russell. He says it was just hilarious. He says all the one-liners that we kept coming out with, it was a fun scene to do. But I do suspect there was probably a few more scenes that were a lot of fun to do for them both. And two action icons really, doing what they do on screen and doing it really, really well. Now, it's thin on plot, this film, but heavy on action, which kind of describes 80s action films perfectly really. Thin on plot, heavy on the action. I mean, you've got a car chase in this thing for no real reason. It doesn't really make sense. At the end of the film, when they're gonna charge into Jack Palance's compound, they get this armoured truck to do it, that's designed by this guy in the police force, and it's just like, you know, I mean, it ramps up its levels of unbelievability to maximum effect. And I think the one trick this film did miss was the best part about this film by far was the prison, when they went to prison. I mean, it was all gold. I mean, it was really, really fun stuff. The scenes together were good. There was a massive fight scene that was really, really good. The escape was exciting. I think they probably could have stretched it out maybe another 10 minutes, the prison sequence, because kind of when they get out, it becomes like a paint by numbers plot then, you know, both trying to clear the name, and then Terry Hatcher's only really there as a plot device to she plays Stallone's sister in the film. Kurt Russell is attracted to her, and then obviously she gets kidnapped and held hostage by the end by Jack Palance. It's all very predictable stuff. I mean, and again, that's another way to describe this film. It's all very predictable stuff, but again, it's 80s, it's classic 80s stuff. You're not going to get any highbrow intellectuals stuff here on display. What you see is what you get here, really, and you get a really fun, well-made action film. And where Stallone kind of actually played against type here. I mean, I think he was working hard at this point, trying to shake his image, if you like. So he dressed like a banker in this film, you know, well spoken, highly intelligent, you know, he went on the stock market and all this kind of stuff. So he kind of played against type here, and it was Kurt Russell that was a wisecracking, you know, street guy, if you like. So that was an interesting thing for Stallone to do in this film. And obviously there's the iconic line at the beginning of the film where somebody says he thinks he's Rambo, and he turns around and says Rambo is a pussy. I mean, it's a classic line, and I remember it you know, it was a lot of fun at the time, because he was still heavily into making the Rambo films at that point in his career as well. I think that year he actually did Rambo 3. Did it come out the same year as this? 1989? I think it did. So yeah, so what we get here is a really entertaining, fun action film. My understanding is, and I have seen quotes from Stallone, I mean, I know he's doing another Demolition Man. I've seen him directly quote that at the minute, but I've also seen him in interviews where he has said that he would very much like to do another Tango and Cash film, and he has opened dialogue with Kurt Russell to maybe do it. And it's actually Kurt Russell that's kind of holding the hand up and sort of saying, really, don't you think we're a little bit old for this now? But I think Stallone's working on a script. I don't know for sure. I don't think it's in his, you know, upcoming projects on IMDb or anything, but I know he's interested in doing it, and why not? I'd be happy to see both Stallone and Kurt Russell on screen together again, certainly. Even if it's not Tango and Cash sequel, maybe something else for them to work on together. So that is my classic film review for Tango and Cash. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Like I say, it's brainless fun, ridiculous plot, you know, way over the top action, but I think there's no denying that it is a very, very entertaining film. So I do hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, please like the video, and if you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing as well. Thank you very much for watching, everybody.